before you know it, man, it was just chaos everywhere. I think we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? What is going on, Shuffle Nation, LFI Nation? Michael Ray Newman here, deep in the heart of frozen Texas. That's right, we are frozen down here. I've got the one, the only, the great that has been jamming all day long and still giving us big time value is my brother Edwin Britt. How you doing, bro? How we doing out there in North Carolina? Looking good. Thumbs up. Okay. Hey, I don't know where you're joining us from because I know that we're live on a couple of different platforms through social platforms. So YouTube, Facebook, right here right StreamYard is what we're in. If you're in StreamYard, we welcome you in here. Make sure if you haven't, next time, you need to register so we can we can talk to you in the feed we have over here because it pops up. But if you haven't registered for StreamYard, it doesn't have your name, so it just says Facebook. So we know you're coming from Facebook, but we don't know exactly who you are. So we want to know who you are. We want to talk to you, and we appreciate you guys jumping in this evening with us. Like I said, I am Michael Ray Newman here in Texas. You guys are joining us live in the LFI Nation. If you are part of this broadcast, and if you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth and hear us tonight, you are part of a special group. And what I mean by that, Mindset of a Champion, ER and Guy, the founders of LFI Shuffle, have made a significant investment for you. And you got into this affiliate thing for nothing, no down. It was just free. And that is too good to be true. And if it's too good to be true, it probably is. But this, for right now, what they're bringing you right now, or this investment, what they have given you is something that won't last forever, but we have had so much fun. And the reason we have is because you are in a group with like-minded people. The reason you're listening to this, whether you're on replay or you're hearing it now, is because we are like-minded. You guys are trying to make a better self for yourself, a better life for yourself. You guys want something better. You want your children to have better than you have. You want to get out of the rut. You want to have extra income. You want to have, healthy balance in life, whether it be spiritually, mentally, or physically, or personally. And you might want to change careers. You might want to just make a little extra money. It doesn't matter what it is. We're here to support you because the bottom line is it's lonely to being an entrepreneur. And most of you guys are solopreneurs, and you're building your teams. A lot of you are building a team, whether it be in direct selling, MLMs, or other verticals, which Shuffle aligns with all those verticals. So what Edwin and I teach, what we train is a process and procedures, and there's something for everything. We have something to always grade ourselves with. We have a bar that we're always setting. We have something to compare because when we start going in business, and I know Edwin knows this better than anybody, a lot when you start jamming, you forget things and you just try to, okay, I just got to deal with the next thing, deal with the next thing, deal with the next thing. Our heads start swimming. We're not present. We're worried about all this other stuff. What a process does, what our process does, what our procedures, what our systems, what they do is allows you to check yourself, check up from the neck up. It allows you to say, am I benchmarking? Am I hitting all my KPIs for this procedure, for this process? And that's what we teach off of that. And we do it mentally. I mean, it's a lot of, they can have physical benchmarks, brick and mortars, KPIs, those things that we talk about, but it's internal KPIs. It's those key performance indicators. Are you tracking with the person in front of you? Are you tracking with your internal customer? Are you tracking with your external customer? Are you tracking with your partners? Do you feel like that you're listening enough? Do you feel like you're giving where you need to be giving? Do you feel like your time is it's not directed enough? It's because you are worried about other things. This is what our process gives us tonight. And today I want to talk about, because we have been on LFI Shuffle are in a dozen countries, Edwin. They're all over the world. They're getting bigger every day. We had affiliates join us. We have people using this app for so many verticals. It's just blowing my mind. So we're having conversations with big corporations and small independents, and they're jumping in, giving us their feedback, telling us how great they are sometimes. But the ones that are really wanting to help and are willing to do the work with you, the people that roll their sleeves up with us and jump in and say, here's what we do, and they give us all this help, that makes it even better. So today I want to talk about this, E. I want you to drop in on this. It's about what you know really well. It's about doing the reps, baby, because it's so funny. I was just on a call today with a very large company, and they are a direct selling company, and they're very well known. And they had one of their top sales guys in there, and he's like, man, I've been jamming. I don't have much time because I've already closed 6 deals today. I got 8 people added to my team coming in. I closed 6 of them this afternoon, and I need to get off and do that. So I told him, I said, you know when the best time to make a sale is, don't you? And he said, oh, yeah, right after we just made one. So I said, I won't keep you too long. And here's what he told me. He said, this is Shuffle's okay. It looks really good, but I just do this and this and this, and I do this, and it's all a bunch of extra lifting. And he's like, so I'm not sure if it's going to add any value for me. And it blows my mind because he was a top performer. He has been in this industry a long time. All this team are not going to do what he does. Is your process, is your procedure replicatable? And more importantly, for your internal customer, and understand we have two customers when we have internal and external. Our internal customers are our team, the people that you recruit, the people that work for you, the people that work with you. External are your customers that buy and sell your product, goods, or services. So he was totally not thinking about his internal team. Most people can't be him. They need something that they feel like if they put the work in, they're going to get the results. Because I'm telling you, Edwin, nothing's more defeating when you put a 10, 12-hour work day in or a 70 or 80-hour work weekend and you don't get the results you want to get. That's defeating. And I know, believe me, I know it. And in his kind of industry, he's going to lose a lot of people because he's just like, do what I do, do what I do, do what I do. That's not replicatable for them. We have to bring it back. And here's what Shuffle does for you. It's an easy, replicatable system that's not overwhelming. It gives you 2 or 3 key KPIs that you can look at and see results from. Think about that. Somebody new in your industry can see that, I was reluctantly sending out my product for MLM. I was reluctant to do that to maybe my family, maybe my friends, but so that they send it out and they wait, will you look at my product? Well, you know what Shuffle does? It tells you that they looked at it. It tells you when they looked at it. What does that do for you? Oh, it feels good. They look at it. It makes you excited. So it gives you momentum. And when you have momentum, you're going to feel like you can do it. Pressure goes down. Confidence goes up. That's mindset of a champion, Edwin. That is actually living it. That's actually doing it.
No doubt about it, Michael. And, what you said about being replicatable for our audience tonight, it's also sustainable. A great president of ours, Ronald Reagan, said this: trust, but verify, right? Trust, but verify. In other words, you got to document, right? You got to measure. You got to put the work in. And there's another little phrase you can use: in God we trust, all others must bring data, right? Document it. Put it down. So as you hear Michael and I talk about this, guys, how do you achieve more? You got to put the work in. You got to be willing to do the reps, right? You got to be willing to go as far as you can see. And when you get there, you'll be able to see further. Michael, you and I do a lot of consulting and coaching. And for our audience tonight, here's a quick example of what I mean when you talk about putting the work in, going the extra mile, being part of a community, documenting and tracking your progress, right? Those measurables. That's what Shuffle does. It gives you real-time data, all right, on all these key measurables. That's what you were saying. So I was consulting and coaching this young man who has big ideals, big dreams. In fact, he's about to get married, Michael, in a couple of weeks. So think about that, the heavy lift. He's an entrepreneur and he's about to get married, right? And I said, as I hear you, I hear a lot of generals, like I've done this, I've done that, but I don't hear any exacting. And so one of the things we're talking about is how many quality conversations are you having in the course of a week? I had a lot, but can you tell me, like, I had 17 and they yielded this and they yielded that. 2 weeks later, I was able to speak with them again. This sort of validates what, because as you say, Michael, we educate and we validate. The whole theme of our training is, do you have a system that's documented, that's sustainable, that's replicatable? Are you tracking those KPIs? That 2 weeks after I challenged him on that intentionality, Michael, we came back, and guess what? It was his best week ever. His energy level was up here, right? Because he had documented it, he had tracked it, and he had put the work in. You got to do all 3 of those things. And he was so precise in his results. In other words, he had focused on the process, and the results ultimately take care of themselves. So he was able to say, I made 56 calls. I had 23 quality conversations. I have 8 meetings I would not have had. And I have 3 contracts as a result of it, specifically, right? So that's what we want you to take with you tonight. Everybody's got dreams, right? Everybody has goals, aspirations, especially entrepreneurs, small business owners. Take the time to plan, document, measure, and track. And if you're implementing those processes inside of your own business, you're also complementing very well what Shuffle and Elify does, what the app Shuffle does for you, because it helps you measure those quality conversations, those outreaches, the lead generation, all of those things that are so important, Michael.
That's exactly right. And think about that, what you just said. When you focus on the metrics, you focus on the process, the results come. And that is exactly what Mindset of a Champion is about. It's not about chasing championships, or you say it so well, man. When you're on stage in front of 10,000 people, when you say that, I'm just like, it's exactly what it is. Because if we get caught up in the emotion of it, if we get caught up in it, if I don't make this call, if I don't get this, I've only made 20 calls, not 56 this week. I got it. These are getting really important. What happens? Pressure goes up. Confidence goes down. You start worrying about the call if I don't say the exact right thing. If I have the numbers, this is my number. Focus on the number. Don't focus on the dollars. Focus on the number of what you got to do. And those metrics at the end of the day will take care of themselves. And if you're monitoring and tracking those metrics, when if you have 56 to do and you get through 27 or 6 of them, or how much is that? 28. There you go. 28 of them, you know that you're going to track. Even if you're missing, you're off pace a little bit, you got 28 more. Let's see where we land.
So critically important, Michael, is having those measurables. And I read somewhere that if you actually write your goals down and measure and monitor and track them, you're going to achieve 85% of what you strive for. And hey, man, 85% of what you strive for in the classroom, that's a B. In the business world, you keep doing that week in and week out, keep putting that together. You're going to look up and you're going to have yourself quite a business, my friend. 85% is a great score when you're measuring and monitoring and tracking, because the goal isn't perfection, right? Don't chase perfection. The goal is excellence. And 85% achievement is a pretty nice, excellent score when you're building up business ratios, Michael.
Wow. That's a really good way to put that, man. We're not chasing perfection. You're chasing excellence. And you always got to push yourself and measure yourself up against something. You can't always go in your emotion. As a matter of fact, most of the time, that's not where you need to be. Never too high, never too low. And you check yourself because you have a process in place, is what we have in there. And those KPIs, if you can look at them, what are your internal KPIs? What are your internal key performance indicators with the people I'm in front of? If I thought, planned, and prepared for them, am I relating with us? I'm checking myself. Am I really relating with him? We're having fun. We're doing it, but are we really doing what we need to get done today for this call? Are we uncovering the needs we need to uncover? We touched all the KPIs we need to touch. Do I have the right kind of solution? Don't let them draw you into a product conversation. Make sure that you get them into a customer conversation of what their needs are. Don't start arguing about products, right? And then offering a solution, taking massive action. That's what we have to do. That's important. Hey, Marlene, how you doing? I see you there. Kathy Inman, always awesome to see you there. And I know Evan made a comment of KPIs there for us too.
Yeah, and one more last thing for me, Michael, is if we can, for the audience to say, okay, because I use this term quality conversations quite a bit. Well, how do you define a quality conversation? Start measuring these in the course of your day and week. A quality conversation is someone that can have a sphere of influence, or you be an sphere of influence to them, or receive that sphere of influence, where after the conversation, you have more information than what you had before the conversation. That's it. Sometimes that's going to be a lot of information that's going to be critically important to where you're trying to go. Sometimes it's a little piece of the puzzle that you stack onto the next piece of the puzzle, to the next piece of the puzzle, till ultimately you build a bridge called a solution that, again, is replicatable and sustainable. Why are we focused on this with our affiliates? Because that's how you build the affiliate program as well. It applies to our shuffle endeavor, our side hustle, if you will, and it applies to our brick and mortar business, whatever it is that we're operating on the majority of our time. So measure your quality conversations this week and watch what happens from that, because that's the gateway to your appointments. It's the gateway to your contracts. It's the gateway to your client relationships, those quality conversations.
Okay, that's it. It's pretty simple, right? I want you to do this for me. What are your key performance indicators when you get off tonight? How many affiliates, for start this, you got to flip the script, reverse engineer it. How many affiliates do I want? I want 10. Well, how many calls do I need to make? I don't know. Call Guy, call Yar, call me, call Edwin, get a hold of somebody on the shuffle team, Kathy, and then go out and say, I don't know. So I'm going to make 20 calls, and I want to see how many affiliates, I want to see how many people I can sign up for shuffle to get it, that need it. Whatever you're trying to measure, whether it be closing mortgage banks, whether it be closing real estate deals, whether it be having so many people in your restaurant that buy a certain product, well, you got to track it. So set up a system. It's really simple. We call it flipping the script. Start what you want to do, the end result is, and then you reverse engineer it so you know how many numbers you have to give. You have a forecast, projection, and goal. All these things that I'm mentioning right here is exactly everything that we teach. You guys are inside a group of people that are like-minded, that are driven, that want more. They don't want to leave a legacy. They want to live a legacy. And I'm telling you, you got to do the reps. Here's what Shuffle does for you. It makes it easier to do the reps. It's a vehicle is all it is. When you're digging with your hands, you can use a shovel. That's basically what it is, except it's like a big old backhoe digger, in my opinion. It's super easy to use. So it's probably more like a bobcat if you're in the construction world. But anyway, I digress on that one. Here's what I want you guys to do. Don't quit. Edwin said it earlier. Go as far as you can see. When you get there, I promise you'll be able to see further. You've got to get up. You've got to take action. You've got to do the reps. I can't go to the gym and just sitting there and not do anything. You got to break yourself down. Work to the point of failure. That's what, when you build muscle mass, when you do anything on running for 3 miles to 8 miles to 10 miles to half a marathon, you run to the point of failure. You work out to the point of failure, and it's tearing your muscles down. It's the time off is when you recoup. So we have to plan our time accordingly. You have to make sure you're intentional about the conversations you're in, attitude, moment, and process. When you're in the gym, pay that attention. When you're with your children, pay that attention. Will, skill, and refill. All things I'm telling you guys. If you don't feel like you're getting any results, that's okay. Just keep working the process. Do the reps. I'm going to tell you right now, if you were a tree, what kind of tree would you be? I know one thing 100%. I am a Chinese bamboo tree because my life has been like that, baby. Chinese bamboo tree. Let me tell you about the Chinese bamboo tree. You know about the Chinese bamboo tree? Marlene, you know about the Chinese bamboo tree? Let me tell you about it. You plant the seed, you water it, you fertilize it for a year, nothing happens. You do the same thing the second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, 6 years, you water and fertilize a Chinese bamboo tree. Nothing happens. How do you think that gardener feels? Like a failure, right? Sometime in that 6th year, do you know what happens? The Chinese bamboo tree grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. What? 90 feet in 6 weeks? This is what I want to ask you right now. Did the Chinese bamboo tree grow 90 feet in 6 weeks? Or did it grow 90 feet in 6 years? Because somebody was consistently making sure that it was getting what it needed. I'm telling you guys, don't quit. And my dad told me this when I was 7 years old. He said, son, if you need help, ask for it. If you don't, prove it. Guy and ER have given you a community right here to ask for help, and you're going to get it. So I want you to go out this week and make it count. I don't care if you're snowing or not snowing, ice, sun, whatever. We look like you've been getting some sun. We've been struggling here, bro. It's nothing but a wind burn. Hey, go out, play hard, have fun, and make it count. We got one go around, right? This time's going to pass no matter what. What are you going to do with it? Love you, brother. Talk to you guys later. We'll see you inside. Call us if you need us.